Hey guys, it's Tia. Today I'm going to be filming a college Q&A. So I asked people on my Instagram if they had any questions about college, and I got quite a few responses, so I'm going to definitely answer those today. And I'm also going to respond to some of the frequently asked questions I get asked in my DMs and in the YouTube comments. Alright, so let's get into these questions. Okay, so the first question is, how often are you out of your dorm? During fall quarter, I was out of my dorm pretty frequently. I loved just going downtown and exploring everything for the first time. It was all really fun and new, as opposed to winter quarter when the weather started to get really crappy and it was rainy and cold. I ended up just staying in and studying more. And then now that it's spring quarter, the weather is much nicer, but I'm still having to kind of balance going out and studying because now my course load is pretty heavy. Kind of like a mix of both for this quarter. Alright, so the next question is how to make friends in college. For me, I'm quite extroverted and really like to be social, so it's more natural for me to make friends with people, but I know for people who are more introverted, it definitely can be quite difficult sometimes. But I would say Davis has a lot of opportunities to meet people. We have tons of clubs and organizations. I met some people through going to a dance workshop, so that's one way you can meet people. I would say utilizing discussion sections. I know that sounds kind of weird, but because they are smaller, you do get a chance to really talk to the people around you, and especially if it's a class that you're really interested in the subject and the topic, you probably will be able to find people who have similar interests as you. Okay, next question is, how is the vibe at UC Davis? I would say that the vibe is very chill. I feel like people are very laid back, very relaxed. I mean, that could be the weed. In terms of like the overall energy of the campus, at the beginning of the quarter, it's so like relaxed and everyone's just happy and having fun, and then as it gets around midterms, everyone's just kind of tense, and like you can see it in people's faces when they walk past you. You're just like, yep, this is midterm season. Everyone is freaking out, everyone is super stressed. So the next question is, who's the baddest bee at UCD? That is pretty obvious. I mean, I feel like I don't even need to like speak on that. It's just Bev. So I'm sort of trying to work with the lighting right now so I don't look vampire white, so do work with me. Sorry if the camera moved a little bit. Okay, next question. What's your favorite thing to do in your free time on campus? I like to go get a cup of coffee at the Coho or at the Pete's Coffee that's near the Arc. Spending time at the Arboretum. I think it's just so peaceful and so nice there. I always like watching the ducks. I know that sounds weird, but they're so cute. Another major one is playing with the cows. I'm obsessed. They're so cute and it just brightens up my whole day. I love animals, so I'm so glad that we have that opportunity to literally play with cows on campus. Okay, next question. Is there a particular method for choosing a dorm that's best for you? And I got a lot of questions about housing. So unfortunately, the housing application for students this year was different from mine. I did not know that, so when I made my housing application video, I was under the impression that people could still choose a preference for where they wanted to live, but that changed for some reasons. But I would say go watch the housing video that I made. I will link it in the description below. Even though you can't choose a preference for where you're gonna live, you're gonna be happy wherever you're at. All three have pros and cons. Okay, next question. Favorite moments in college so far? Honestly, for me, I'm a really simple person. I really just love being around the people that I care about, and so it doesn't really matter what we're doing necessarily, just so long I'm around good people. So going downtown, going to Lazy Cow and hanging out with my friends surprising me with my cartilage piercing, that was pretty dope.
So I'm currently editing right now, and yes, with this huge BTS poster behind me. I forgot to mention a lot of my favorite moments in college, so I wanted to just mention a few before I move on to the next question. So definitely getting to meet Alex and Garv and getting to actually be in one of Alex's vlogs, that was so cool. And just knowing that they liked my videos was really awesome because their videos really inspired me to come to UC Davis, and actually getting to meet them and hang out with them was amazing. I can't wait for you guys to see the videos that we have in store. Picnic day was also super fun and filled with fun memories and moments. And the last thing I'll mention is getting a job. So I got hired at the Internship and Career Center. I really did not think that I was going to get that job because my interview for me went pretty poorly. I feel like I did a really bad job, but they really liked me, so I'm so glad to be a part of the new Internship and Career Center team. I am going to be a student outreach assistant, so I've been actually training this quarter for the job, and then I get started in the fall, so I can't wait.
Alright, next question is from Garv. Hello. He says, oh boy, a Tia Q&A. Let's see. Oh my god, are we reviewing Met Gala fashion? That was full camp. How was the transition from high school to college? So I did get asked this question a couple of times. For me, the transition was rough. It was a little rough. I was cutting toxic people out of my life, and I also went to a really small high school, and so everyone kind of knew my drama. But honestly, it's in the past, it made me into a much better person. It was a good thing. It sucked for like 6 months, but it was a good thing. But after that, I had the most amazing summer of my whole life. I got it on film, so I will leave it in a little card right here, and I will also leave it in the description. It was so amazing getting to just be around my family, going to Korea for the first time. I could have never dreamed up a better summer. So going into college, having had such a great summer, and being able to put into perspective how insignificant high school really is in the grand scheme of things, I was able to kind of start on a much better foot than I anticipated. I found amazing people here. I grew a lot from my experiences. Okay, next question is, what's your favorite part about UC Davis? I would say 3 major things. I would say the people that I've met here, 1, because they're amazing. I would say the environmental classes. The professors are so good, not only just knowing the information, but also being able to relate it to us and relay the information in such an amazing way. Like, I genuinely love all the environmental classes I've taken so far. I've taken Crisis and Environment, SAS 9, GEL 10, which is Global Environmental Change, LDA 3, which is Sustainable Design, and then number 3 has to be the animals and the cows and the ducks and the squirrels, and I just love animals, and this school has so many of them. I mean, what school can you just go out and just hang out with the cows? Like, honestly, that is bomb. I'm taking animal science next quarter, and my lab practicals are in the barn with the animals. Like, I could not be more excited. Okay, next question. If I'm an international student, will it be hard for me to study bio as a major? I think being an international student is not going to stop you from pursuing any major that you want. There are plenty of great resources for you and to help you during your college experience. So I don't think it should stop you at all. And in terms of bio major, I mean, if you're nervous about it being difficult, there's so many opportunities to practice skills and have tutoring available and going to office hours and TA office hours. There's a lot of ways to get help if you feel like you're struggling, so I would not let being an international student or wanting to pursue bio hold you back from coming to UC Davis. All right, next question. How many hours do you study in a day on average? I would say anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. It sounds like a lot, because it is a lot. I would say 3 to 5 just because during the beginning of the quarters, you're really not studying too much. I mean, you're sort of just kind of getting in the hang of the classes. And then as you move through, I mean, literally by like week 3 or 4, you're taking midterms. That's just the way it goes because it's so fast here. Yeah, because it moves really quickly, you are studying a lot in a short amount of time. That sounds awful. It's really not that bad. And honestly, if you're studying a little bit every day, it's better than just like cramming all in one night, because that doesn't work here. Like, I know in high school you could get away with just cramming the night before and like get an A, but that is not the case here. Definitely speaking from experience with chem, I would just put off studying for chem until the midterm. I've never scored that low on an exam in my entire life, and I spent all day studying. Yeah, you kind of had to study the whole time, get the help that you needed throughout in order to succeed. So definitely quite rough. Okay, next question. What do you think is the most important thing to consider when writing your college essay? So I made a whole video about UC application tips, and I speak a lot about the best ways to write college essays, but in an overall kind of statement, I guess the most important thing to consider when writing your college essays is to make sure you have concrete evidence and stories that you can pull from in order to really convey that you're the best candidate. Things that really highlight your teamwork, leadership, problem-solving skills, all that kind of stuff. If you're able to pull real-life experiences and write them in a way that gets a personal connection, an emotional connection, as well as an academic look at those experiences, you're definitely going to be more likely to be seen as a successful candidate. But that is super vague and just kind of overarching. If you want some more specific tips on college essay writing, go watch my video. I think it's called UC Application Tips. Okay, best and worst experience so far. So I did kind of mention like my favorite moments already. So worst experience so far, I have 2. Failing both of my math midterms in 16A full Fs, just 2 full Fs, and there was only 3 midterms, so thank God I was able to pull together on that last midterm. I had a full Trisha Paytas crying on the floor like moment. So not cute. And then the second one would have to be breaking up with someone. I have never done that before, and it was very hard because I do still really have respect for that person, but it just wasn't working and I just wasn't feeling it anymore. So that was very difficult. Yeah, that sucked. That was not fun. Oh my god. Okay, next question. Is it hard to get around UC Davis the first week? I would say, for me personally, no, because all my classes were on Bialetti Way. I actually went and visited my classes before the quarter began. That way I kind of knew where things were. It takes about 2 weeks to get used to the campus and where things are. Obviously, it's going to be new every quarter. You're going to be in new buildings, but it's going to be a pretty quick adjustment because you're going to now have points of reference like, oh, it's near Wellman. Oh, it's near Science Lecture Hall. Okay, next question. What made you choose your major and why did you choose your major? So my major is Environmental Policy Analysis and Planning. Essentially, it is learning about environmental policy laws and regulations related to like water pollution, land use, air pollution, things like that, and coming up with better ways to implement policy into everyday reality. And I specifically chose my major because growing up, I visited Indonesia a lot. That's where my mom's family is from. I was able to see how bad the pollution was in the city. It's awful. It's really, really bad, and it's impacting people every day. But along with that, I really loved how beautiful Indonesia was. It has some of the most lush forests and amazing beaches and mountains and volcanoes, and getting an opportunity to experience that intense duality really inspired my interest in sustainability and in doing something to solve the problem. And I'm not an engineer, I never will be. I'm not a mathy person, it's really just not my thing. And so I chose this major because it really was able to combine things that I'm good at already, like writing, speaking, working with teams of people, working with diverse communities. I tried to pull from my own skill set and apply it to environmental studies. Okay, so I also got a question about the social life at Davis. So someone had asked, other than clubs, what's the social life like? Are there hangouts, kickbacks, parties, etc.? At any college, you're gonna have parties. That's just the way it is. For Davis, Greek life isn't a huge presence on campus. It's a presence on campus, but it's not overbearing. There are frat parties. There's plenty of frat parties. There's also house parties, kickbacks, and things like that. It's not uncommon to have those. I don't really know too much about the party scene just because it's not really something that I do. I don't judge people that go into that and go into that. I'm acting like it's like a major. I major in chugging beer. I don't judge anyone who parties, I just personally don't do it. I really don't have the time in my schedule to do it. I am busy all the time. It exists, it's out there, a lot of people party. Yeah, UC Davis is no exception. Alright, that'll be it for all of the questions. I'm very aware that I'm not in the same location anymore. I tried to film an outro when I was at home and it turned out to be absolute trash because I don't know how to film. Like, bitch, what the fuck is new? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like this video if it helped you out. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that notification bell so you know whenever I post. Make sure to follow me on social media so you can stay up to date with my life, and when I'm about to post, I will post on my social media, like on my Insta story, or make an actual Instagram post about my new video. That'll be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!